What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts. I am being joined by top 10 bantamweight contender Jimmie Rivera. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing fantastic, man. I really appreciate you coming on and doing an interview with us. It means a lot, man.
Anytime.
So let me ask you something, because I heard that you had COVID-19, and that's something I really wanted to talk about because now Burns is out of his fight with it. What was it like experiencing that? Is it as significant as they say?
You know, it's different for everybody. I mean, myself, I work out all the time, eat right. The high risk people are like people with like diabetes and overweight and elderly. So I had 3 bad days and I recovered. My wife is a little more high risk with it because she has other medical problems. So she took a little longer to recover. So it was a little scary on her. But for me, I was more concerned when she got it than I got it. When I got it, I just literally first day stayed in bed. Second day was doing stuff around the house. Third day, no fever until like at night while I was sleeping. And the fourth day I was completely fine.
Oh, so it was almost like a normal like flu type feeling, or even like a fever.
Yeah, it was like the flu. It was, you know what, literally it was just like the flu except for like respiratory. Like I had a little cough, but it was more like a phlegm cough, not like a dry cough my wife had.
Right. And it wasn't like you couldn't breathe or anything like that.
No, she felt like it was hard to breathe for her. For me, I was just like the first day was like super fatigued. I had a backache, my back was killing me, and I had a fever on and off. And all I wanted to do was sleep. The
Okay.
second day I had the backache, little fever on and off. And then the third day I still had the backache. I didn't have a fever until at night when I was sleeping. And then on the fourth day I was fine. Like
Yeah.
nothing. I felt brand new. Felt great.
Okay. So yeah, because you hear a lot of mixed things. I know I had a relative that had it, couldn't breathe, and then had another relative that had it. It was like, I felt all right. It's like a typical cold type feeling.
Yeah, it's all different. You know what it comes down to, which it sucks. And this is the thing I've been told about the most, and hoping to open my gym up soon to do not all non-contact bag training and stuff, even like solo drills with the jiu-jitsu. Just they drill on their own, and we have dummies that we're selling, or if they want to bring, we made like at-home dummies. Literally took a sweatshirt, put a pillow in it, filled
Oh,
the sweatshirt arms and the head, and tied it up to do jiu-jitsu drills. So, the biggest thing is right now, and as much as, I know people are a little scared, the biggest thing is being in shape and taking care of yourself, eating right and working out. So everything I've seen, the biggest, like I called my doctor when I got it. He was like, just take vitamin C, drink vitamin C, some Tylenol, take some vitamin C pills or some OJ and Tylenol for the fever. And every doctor and every research I've done after the fact was just work out, like take care of yourself, eat right, and train. So obviously, a professional athlete, I eat right, I train all the time. I wasn't scared, but you have someone out there that's overweight or doesn't take care of themselves. They need to do something. And why wait? Why wait till you get it? Why don't you start now and take care of yourself? So I know
right.
people that were in great shape that got it and got over it quick. And I know some people that were in horrible shape, got it, sucked for 2 or 3, 4 weeks for them, and then they recovered, but they said they felt like death. It was worse than the flu.
Yeah,
And
that's what I hear. It's
yeah,
it's like my uncle who had it doesn't exercise, doesn't do anything, said he couldn't breathe. I had an aunt that had it, used to like to run and stuff. She said she felt pretty good. I don't think I've had it. I know I was sick around like March time with a little something. My dad had something, but who really knows if it was corona or just a basic cold.
yeah, like Gilbert Burns could have it, but he could be like asymptomatic. But I
Right.
don't know if they test for the antibodies. I think they just test through the nose swab. So I'm not sure if they do the blood test. So if they don't do the blood test, you don't really know if he has the antibodies too, if he's asymptomatic, I believe. So it sucks. It just sucks because I was really looking forward to that fight.
Oh, dude, I was ecstatic about it. I mean, Burns looked absolutely amazing against Woodley. That fight was awesome, and I was really happy he took it. But now I think Colby's trying to sneak his way back into that rematch. How do you feel about that?
I mean, if I'm Kobe, it's a smart move. Get in there last minute, still have the title fight, still have 3 title fights, still good business moves. People still are going to watch Kobe either win or lose.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Kobe's already accepted being the bad guy. I've met him before, and he's very nice in person,
I've
actually.
heard about this. I've heard the same thing. There's a video that got released. Like, oh man, you're a really chill guy. There's nothing like you are in your videos. The heel, I guess, is now known to most. But at the end of the day, I still like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, you got to sell fights. That's what, it's changed from when it was George St. Pierre's era to like my era now. It's like you have to sell fights. Like even Henry Cejudo was trying to sell fights, was the cringe. I mean, he's accomplished a lot, so I give him that. But I mean, on my hand, I'm just happy that the division's going. Like, he sat out. He won the belt in June and didn't fight for almost a whole year later,
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks. Where, yeah, I haven't fought till a year later, but I was trying to schedule fights. It's just, like November, I wanted to fight MSG. It just didn't work out because they had no one for me to fight.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I'm gonna be honest, you have had tougher opponents than Cejudo had at bantamweight. Not to call him out, but at the end of the day, you fought Jan and Aldo, which, in my opinion, that's 1 and 2 right now, and you did well against both, going the distance with both.
I know my coach reminds me all the time that I was so close, and I'm like, I know, I made mistakes, and the Aldo fight was a bad weight cut. And the Jan fight, the first and 2 rounds, I literally wanted to coast at the end. I was like, all right, cool. I'm up in the cards. I beat him up. And then that's what happens when you lay back a little bit. And I learned the hard way instead of learning the easy way.
Yeah. And I think that's another argument against. I don't know if you heard about Invicta. They did open scoring this week, and that was one of the things. Thankfully the girl didn't get dropped, but I heard she was really coasting on the last round because she saw 2-0. But who knows? You get caught, you go down, you're not fighting. Now it's either a draw, you end up losing the fight. I would say honestly, just mind your P's and Q's, go in there and do your work. And that's why I don't like open scoring personally.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree with that. Like, for instance, one of my teammates was Shane Burgos, who fought Josh Emmett, which was an awesome fight.
Oh my God,
and
dude, that was awesome. Holy shit.
I thought he was up 2-0, so I'm like, all right, still around, just fight smart. But that's not Shane's mentality. He goes balls to the wall. So he went in there trying to kill. And, there's a lot of factors now because first you can hear the commentating, and then you have the judges. And now the judges, are they listening to the commentating or are they really watching the fight? So are they, what are they picking? So it's just one of those things that's like, it's kind of tough because usually when you're in the arena, you can't hear the commentator at all. You can't hear everything. You can only hear some of the, at least myself, coaching in the crowd, and that's it.
Yeah, and now, I mean, I heard Greg Hart even said something like he was listening to Cormier's advice during the fight, like almost as a third coach outside.
Yeah. So it's, it's one of those things. Maybe the commentating shouldn't be ringside. Maybe it should be further back where they can't hear, but it's such a small arena, the Apex Center. So you can kind of hear it anywhere. You could literally hear Bisping commentating through the mic in the octagon. So it's kind of funny. Like you hear the commentating, but then like they switch mics over and you can still hear him commentating through it. So you hear everything going on.
That's so odd. I mean, I can't even really imagine fighting in something like that. I mean, have you ever fought in an arena like that? Like that small? I know you did the Ultimate Fighter tryout years back, but
yeah, it's like almost like the Ultimate Fighter tryout. I mean, I fought in like a couple like Bellator. When I fought Bellator, I think it was either at the Borgata or something. I forgot what hotel room it was at. One of the hotels. It was literally a ballroom they had in there because their business tactics are a little different. They do very cheap arenas and they fill them up, and they don't try to go too big. You know what I mean? They don't try to go really big like MGM and stuff like that. It all depends on who's on the card, and that's how they work it. So like I went to one of my teammates fought at Penn State, and that's a pretty big arena, but they had like 3 Penn State fighters, so it was packed. Like they had people, alumni, and all that. So it was interesting. But I think one of the smallest places I fought in was a ballroom for Bellator years back.
Yeah, Bellator now, I don't even know what's going on with them. I don't know. In my opinion, I followed Bellator like really hard for a while. I mean, I still follow, but I have felt like it's not as competitive. Like at one point, it was like, oh, these guys are coming at the UFC as the real number 2. Where now, I don't know, man. I think ONE FC is really probably the true number 2 in the world.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, it's just interesting to see what happens because I think ONE FC is about to put fights on, right?
I've
Or
heard
they did
about
already.
Yeah, I think
And Bellator's
they did
still
early.
waiting.
They're waiting, and I think honestly, it's a wrong move for Bellator to wait. I think they need to get at it soon because there's going to be a lot of layoffs and things. I hope we can get crowds back in the next 3 months. To be 100% honest with you, man.
Yeah, I just think right now, like, I mean, like people, you know, people like tell me, oh, you don't, you know, you're not scared of it because I got it. I'm like, you can always get it again. Supposedly, you know, what you get now, it's the strand is not as strong. But then, you know, if you look into the research and you actually study, like the average American that died from COVID was 82. The average American that dies from anything in general is 79. So the average is different. It hit a lot of people were scared because they hit a lot of people hard fast. But I mean, this could be like the new flu in a way. But at the end of the day, like, what you got to do two options. You know what I mean? And I like what New Zealand did when I spoke to Ariel, and I like what Sweden did. Sweden did herd immunity where everybody stayed home. And I mean, only high risk and elderly stayed home, and everybody ended up getting it. But then New Zealand, like they shut down for like hardcore for like a month or two, and now they have 0 cases. So you got to pick one or the other.
We were like right in the middle the whole time. It was like, hey, half shut down, half not. Are we wearing masks? Are we not wearing masks? And then it's just chaos.
Yeah, well, like I don't get it. It's like, how could a tattoo parlor be open? Or you could go to, like, you can't get COVID from Home Depot or the grocery store or something like that.
Walmart.
Like
the dirtiest place in the world is probably Walmart, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't you just open everything up and keep regulations? That's it. Yeah. I mean, they don't even have regulations when you go into the supermarkets now. There's no more counting. You just go in. Yeah. You know, you just have to have a mask. But then again, the mask is, you know, like, all right, I'll wear a mask to you know, if someone's worried, you know what I mean? But if I'm outside and Governor Murphy says outside is trying to require masks, I'm like, you go fuck yourself. I'm outside. Right. I'm like, if I'm more than 6 feet away, I'm like, I'm not wearing a mask. No. It's so hard to breathe as it is.
Dude, imagine, like, you know, the gyms in California are requiring to work out in masks. I'm like, what do you want people to suffocate? More people are going to end up dying from CO2 poisoning or some shit.
Well, I got to ask my wife. I don't know. I know for New York and New Jersey, there's such higher age of elderly people that died because instead of keeping them in the hospital, they sent them back to the nursing homes. So it just spread more and it killed more people. So the governors did that. And it's fucked up. It doesn't matter the age of who you are. Your patient's a patient. You keep them in the hospital, whatever it is. So I know that was a big thing too. And I just think I don't have anybody elderly I feel bad for people that did and that died from it, but I didn't have anybody elderly in those nursing homes. But still, it's just like, you know, you send people back there. I don't know. It's just crazy, the whole thing going on. And it just keeps going worse and worse because I believe it's more with has to do with politics than it does have to keep people safe.
Absolutely. I'm gonna be honest, I agree with that 100%. I've said that to people, and then you have some people that really don't believe it. They think that this is the true plague, something crazy. You have people that are all super fearful. When I'm like, yo, go out, go for a run. They want to sit in their house, eat potato chips, and do nothing and be overweight. It's like, if you're scared of corona, get in the best shape of your life. And that's how you beat it. Not hiding inside, not getting sunlight. You're vitamin deficient. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I think, too, you're taking away a person's freedom, too, because you're saying you can't go here, can't do that. I'm like, that's our freedom to do that. Like, if people are scared, they don't want to go out, then stay in. Mm-hmm. But if you're not scared and you know the risk, then leave us the fuck be. We're Americans. We're a free country. Like, you know, we have the Constitution, all this on for a reason, you know, and there's so much if you go back in history. And I just think, you know, if people want to go out and take the risk, let them take the risk. If they don't want to take the risk, they're scared, then let them stay inside. Let them order their groceries, let them order their food, etc., and just do that. Like, you know, there's any which way, like, you're either gonna get it or you're gonna be asymptomatic or something like that. I just feel like it's really hard. You're just buying time. It's really hard not to not get it. But I agree with what you said. Why don't you do something about it? Just take care of yourself and work out.
Right. I ended up, like, obviously before COVID, still working out and stuff, but wasn't doing cardio. I said, all right, COVID's coming. I hit the weights, I hit the cardio, end up losing like 25 pounds. I'm like, might as well get in the best shape of your life. What else are we doing? Everybody's out of work. Get ripped. Let's go.
I know that's what it is. I mean, I'm glad now everything's by us, mostly everything's open.
Same as well
here. I know gyms we're technically not a gym. We fall under a different statute. So, you know, we hope to be open pretty soon. But, you know, we'll just follow guidelines. Like, take temperatures of people when they come in. You know, I'm going to tell people, listen, if you want to wear a mask, I wouldn't recommend wearing a mask working out. Just leaving and going. Can't use the showers in my school. One person per bathroom, obviously, and per locker room. You can usually get changed, but no showering. You come upstairs, everything's going to be taped off. You know what I mean? So you know what your section is to work out in. You work out, and then in between classes, there's time so we could clean, wipe everything down with bleach, and then start with the next class.
That's great. I think that's the best way to do it. I feel like it's obvious, but for some reason, some places just don't want to. They want to keep us locked down. I feel like that causes a lot of problems. People start going nuts. People start getting upset, and now we got chaos going on. Open things up. Give us back the freedom. That's my honest opinion with COVID-19. But you know what? Stay safe. Wash your hands. I've always washed my hands. I've always been clean. But now I got people that I've seen go to the bathroom, not wash their hands and eat, telling me how to be sanitary. So this is nuts right now, man.
I know. Everybody has it depending on where you're at. Everybody has an opinion on something. My one of my good friends has a medical condition, and he has a doctor that he doesn't have to wear a mask, and people just drill on him. I go, it's just ridiculous. It's like you really lose that freedom.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're all good, buddy. You're all good. We got deep into that. Now, I want to ask you, I heard you were supposed to fight Chito Vera. Is that still on the table?
Yeah, I was supposed to get the contract any day now. I don't know what's going on. I know him and O'Malley were talking.
I did see that.
I was confused because, I was called by Sean to fight him at the end of June. And, the things I was dealing with home, especially with my wife being sick, I said, I need some time. Plus, we just opened the headquarters back up. So I was training a little bit, but not a lot because dealing with stuff at home. So he said, fine, UFC worked with me. They were great. And they pushed it to August 8th. So, I'm about almost a month out. And that's what I'm shooting for, August 8th to fight Chito. I don't know where the contracts or what's going on. I guess I'll find out or hear back soon.
Yeah, and the thing that is interesting, though, now they took him out of the top 15. I don't know if you checked. I thought he beat Yadong. I don't know what that score was on that fight, man. I don't know what the hell was happening. There's been a couple awful decisions I've seen in these past month or so.
Yeah, I think that fight went either – it was kind of close either way. Some people thought he won. Some people thought Song Yadong won. I don't know. It's the same deal with the Marlon fight and Aldo. It could have went either way when you're watching it. Even Shane's fight, I thought Shane won the first 2 rounds, and Emmett definitely won the third, and I thought it was a draw.
I thought the same. Right.
Yeah, and some people are like, no, Emmett won. I'm like, but Emmett threw one punch at a time, and but he hit him with it. You know how many times Shane rolled with that punch?
Right.
Does that really he hit it, but his one punch to Shane's striking count? If you go look at the strike count in the first and second, Shane was way ahead. In the third, he obviously wasn't, but he got dropped twice. So what is that? That's a 10-8 round in the third, 10-9, 10-9 in the first and second. Should be a draw, but
call it even. Yeah, run it back.
Yeah, I think it was a great fight. I mean, obviously, Emmett won't be running it back anytime soon. He's hurt, but at least Shane can get back in there again and hopefully, climb the rankings. It's nothing but we're talking to him. I'm like, it's nothing but hard fights once you get into the rankings. You know what I mean? All those guys are really good. Even in my division, any one of those guys could be a champ in the top 10. So it's a really good division. It's a really exciting division. I mean, I don't know. I don't think bantamweight's get enough credit. Look at the fights 2-3 weeks ago. Sterling tapping out Corey, Cody knocking out Sansao, O'Malley knocking out Weiland. All those were first round finishes, I think, except for maybe Cody. I think Cody was second, I think, round. Yeah. But they were quick finishes. Yeah, Cody was. They were quick. They were finishes in round. I'm like, the bantamweight division is exciting too. It just, it depends on matchups too. You know what I mean? I fought Jan and I was throwing everything at him, but the motherfucker was tough. You know what I mean? You got Russian. People like that. Yeah. But then you got people like when I fought Dotson, who didn't want to stay in the pocket, and I want to spar. I want to fight in the pocket, and he was running. So it's like, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. Every styles make fights.
They do.
So you got two guys that want to bang. It's gonna be a great fight. You got a guy that wants to run, another guy wants to bang. It's not gonna be an exciting fight, especially when he's trying to catch me and run it in. I got to take my time coming in so I don't get caught.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think your division is stacked, to be honest. I think right now, some of the best athletes in the UFC are at 135. I think 125 is underrated as well. I really feel like the smaller guys are so technical compared to obviously when you jump to heavyweight, because let's be honest, how many guys that are under 5'9" are playing pro sports elsewhere. MMA is the route, and they have all the athletic ability of a guy that was 6'2", even beyond that, and that's why these divisions are so stacked.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, they're super stacked. I mean, I got to look at 70 again, but 55, 45,
Awesome.
35, you got some killers there.
Yeah.
When it starts, I feel like when it starts to go higher up, you don't.
Yeah, 85, you do have a lot of good, but still, if you get in the back end of that top 15, you see guys that aren't as technical. Whereas if you look at your weight class, number 15, Song Yadong, whether I say he lost to Vera or not, he's a nasty guy. Like, he's nasty, good skills, super athletic. So I feel like I guess it's just the smaller guys have to be a bit more precise and technical.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, look, you got Frankie Edgar that's going to fight I think it's next week, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to be fighting Pedro next week, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got another guy in the top 15 who was a champ at 55, fought at 45, now he's at 35, which 35, I forgot to train with him. 35 should be the weight he should be fighting at. He's too small for 45.
Yeah, no,
I've
always
too
thought
small
that.
for 55.
I just think that he just didn't want to cut the weight, so he was like, hey, I'll just sit at this weight class, enjoy myself. But honestly, now I'm super pumped to see the Pedro Munoz fight. And I think he's an underdog. I feel like he's got it, man. I feel like he's going to be able to beat Munoz.
Yeah.
Stylistic, I like that matchup for him.
I think it's a tough fight because Munoz is really good, but I don't know where it's going to, because, you know, if Frankie wrestles him, it goes down to the ground. Now you got Pedro, who's a very good jiu-jitsu guy, you know, very, very good. So who has better wrestling? I think Frankie has better wrestling. Nothing against Pedro. Pedro's a cool dude. And, I mean, him and I talk here and there, but I think when it comes down to the ground, though, I think I can see Pedro tapping him out, and I wouldn't be surprised if he catches a submission or something like that.
That's a super exciting fight. And now we got Aldo Yan for the title. A little bit of a head scratcher on that one, in my opinion. I think it should have been Aljo versus Yan. But, you know, at the end of the day, Aldo's got the name. He's been around forever. So I kind of
It's a business move.
Right. It's a business move.
It's a business move.
At the end of the day, that's what it is, business.
Yeah, it helps Yan. You know, he fights someone with a big name. He fought Faber with a big name. Now he fights someone else with a huge name compared to Faber. So it's like, it's a very good fight for him to build him, especially if he wins the fight. But if Aldo wins the fight, I didn't get to see the original Aldo in his last fight. He didn't look like the Aldo at 45. So I know it was he looked good, but he didn't look like with his combinations, you know, throwing his combinations. But it should be interesting because now it's the second time him fighting at 35. So it's really interesting to see how he's going to be.
Oh, I'm ecstatic about that. Even though he lost to Marlon, could have gone either way, as we said. I feel like that's a fun matchup, man. Him and Yan, and I think he's a little bit being doubted because if he's like the OG Aldo, rips those leg kicks, I mean, it's gonna be a good fight. 5 rounds of competitive action without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. So it should be interesting to see what happens in that.
And what do you think about Sugar Sean O'Malley? I know he's getting so much hype. I mean, at the end of the day, Eddie Wineland's OG vet. He's been around for a long time, but he's not the number one guy in the weight class. But he's blowing up on social media. His YouTube channel's growing. What are your thoughts on
him? He's got a look that the UFC likes to sell to his fans. I don't think he had nothing against Wineland. Wineland's an awesome dude. I just think he hasn't had a tough fight yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry about that. You know, I love Wineland, and it's not saying he's not a tough guy, but I mean, he just keeps his hands underneath. Yeah. He keeps his hands underneath his chin. The way he fights, I'm like, bro, just put your hands up. It's like Shane. Shane fights. I'm like, yo, just put your left hand up. That's it. Yeah. That's all we ask you to do, you know? Yeah. So I want to see, you know, O'Malley fight. I would love to fight O'Malley too, but they said they wouldn't give me that fight.
Which we know why they wouldn't give you that fight. I mean, high-level grappling skill versus a good striker. And let's be honest, it's not a good matchup for him.
Yeah, they want to keep building him. So I didn't get that fight. So he wanted me to fight. When Sean called, he wanted me to fight the Cheeto fight. So I said, all right. I should get the contract soon again. I don't know what's going on. But I've been training for the past month. I've been training for that. So I'm getting ready, feeling good. And yeah, I just think O'Malley, I want to see O'Malley go with someone in the top 15. Like, it'd be great to see O'Malley fight Song Yadong or something like that, or fight Rob Font, or, you know, some of those guys are, you know, fucking good strikers as well, or you know, good strikers as well. I mean, he hasn't really fought a wrestler yet, or yeah, wrestler, jiu-jitsu guy kind of yet. So that's interesting too, to see if he could stop the takedowns and kill him,
Yeah,
beat him on the
absolutely.
feet.
Yeah, I agree, man. I really want to see Sean fight a guy that's a little more well-rounded. I mean, Wineland's good. He's OG vet, former WEC champ, but he's a striker. He leaves his chin up. And at the end of the day, how many fights has he had? He's an OG guy. He's not fresh. He's not young. He's taking some shots. So obviously, maybe the chin's not as good as it once was. There's a bit of factors there.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, we're gonna find out, man. I'm really excited for it, man. And I want to ask you something more, just a personal story for you. So, what was the first martial art that you got into?
I've been with Tiger Showman since I was a kid.
Okay,
I
so oh,
started,
really?
and yeah, I started when I was 9, and I just did some wrestling in high school, and that was it.
Okay, okay. So no college wrestling or anything like that, just that, and then you got into it. And what,
Yeah,
what, what
I
would be
did.
some good advice to young fighters that are wanting to get into it?
Some people ask me, I just tell them, find a place that's well-rounded where you can work everything, and don't be in a rush to jump in a fight. Do it smart. Start with kickboxing fights and jiu-jitsu tournaments, and then slowly work your way into MMA, amateur, and then it's a pro. Like, some people want to jump into it right away, and you jump in and you're too green and you just don't do well. You got to give it time. You got to be patient. Find a coach that'll say that to you. Be like, listen, we can get you ready, but it's going to take time. It's not something you can jump in right away. And you got to have those patience so you can take your time and get ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason I asked, actually, my younger brother, his goal is to be an MMA fighter, really take it to that level. I love training martial arts, do some jiu-jitsu myself, amateur boxing a bit. But at the end of the day, you savages got it. I'm just the guy behind the camera talking. This is my true passion here.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's it. Just find a coach that's going to be there and not rush you. You know what I mean? Take your time and tell you it's going to take some time, but you'll be able to do it. And that's it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, man, well, I really appreciate you talking to me, man. Happy 4th of July to you. I don't want to keep you here all day. Definitely one day hope to talk again, maybe before your fight too, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Just hit me up. You know where my number is. Just give
Yes,
me a
sir,
call or
man.
text me. All right.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, Jimmy. MMA experts. I'm AJ. That's Jimmie Rivera signing off. See you guys in the next video.